Hello, everybody. How you doing? This is Andrew Perry, coming to you live and at you from the business streets, which is New York City. As I do a brief edition of this podcast, as I chat to you what's going on as far as the world of sports. But we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about the Seattle Seahawks thrilling overtime. We're gonna talk about the Seattle Seahawks, San Francisco 49ers overtime thriller tonight. But and we're gonna round the NFL as go around the NFL briefly. But before we do that, let's move even further to college football as they wrap up Week 11 as they move on to Week 12 as the college football as we are approaching slowly but surely. We are really deep into games and stuff like that. A couple of things to say. LSU. Basically, let's start off with the LSU Alabama game that I've been wanting to say since it happened, and a big win, big no question win, probably without question. This is the biggest game, biggest win of the year. Not only because they're Alabama, not only because it's the ACC, because it's their big rival, a big rival. Every year. They've been losing to Alabama 8 straight years, and they finally get a win and beat them at home, nonetheless. Was really phenomenal. First things first, the game was phenomenal. The game was phenomenal. Especially towards the end. Alabama had their chances, but they made some key mistakes. They make some key mistakes that really. And I didn't want to say cost them the game, but as far as I'm concerned, it was pretty much too little, too late. And give LSU credit; they were aggressive. They just ran in Alabama throws. LSU looked like a tougher and bigger team, and they were the bullies. Normally, when you watch the game, you'll see especially if you watch Alabama throughout the years since Nick Saban became the coach. Alabama are the Terminators. They're the bullies. They have the 300-pound defensive linemen and stuff like that. They big and stuff like that. But LSU just came in there and just smacked them in the mouth. And even though Alabama made it a little interesting towards the end, as I said before, but then again. But in the end, it was too much LSU. LSU put them away, and give LSU tremendous credit. And this is the thing I've been telling y'all. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a clear-cut blueprint how you beat Alabama. You have to score a lot of points. 10 points is not enough. 15 points is not. You got to beat them at least 15 or more, because Alabama is not really equipped to have a huge comeback. Just keep that in mind. So with that, I didn't expect Alabama to win the game. When by the third quarter, when they had a big lead in the third quarter, I said to myself, I think LSU could win that game. But even though Tonga, I will say under Nick Saban, he's the best quarterback. He is clearly the best quarterback they ever had in Alabama. In my eyes, I think he was way better than AJ McCarron, Greg Lucroy, AJ McCarron. I think they were better. So no question about it. But either way, LSU, give them credit. They won some big games, and they've been phenomenal throughout the year. They've been phenomenal this year. And am I surprised that they have the win this year? No, because this is Alabama. LSU has always been a good team the rest of the year. Now, if you ask me personally today, who should be number one? If you're listening out, there's someone that I know who's a huge Ohio State fan, I hate to tell him, I have to go with LSU. I'm gonna tell you why. LSU play in a better conference. They're the better team. They have a better defense. And their resume is more impressive. Ohio State, you beat Wisconsin, who's overrated. Who stink, okay? You destroy Maryland, 95% of them. The biggest wins y'all have was pretty much at the Horseshoe. No, let's just leave it at, let's just put it at that, okay? The biggest wins you have is in the Horseshoe, so no question about it. So LSU is in the driver's seat. I think by Tuesday they should be the new number one team. If they're not, I don't know what to tell you at this point. I don't know what to tell you at this point. Looking forward to college football. The next big game is Penn State, Ohio State. As far as I'm concerned, Penn State is out. I think you could put Clemson in. But I understand why. Because Clemson, you could not have a close call against North Carolina. You barely beat North Carolina. But I will put Clemson. Me personally, I will put Clemson over Penn State. I know Minnesota's having a terrific year. Don't get me wrong, they're having a terrific year. But you can't lose to Minnesota. And plus, they gave away the game, in my eyes. Gave away that game. That game that really stuck out with me is that fourth. I have a bone to pick with a lot of teams. And you do this in the NFL too. Why, if you're in the goal line, why they go for it on fourth down a lot? Unless you don't go for it unless you have to. If you don't have to, kick the damn field goal. Take the 3 points. Don't you know when you take the 3 points, you help yourself even further? Then go for it, and then you go for it, and then you come out with absolutely nothing. That drives me crazy. I noticed that, and a lot of teams do that, and I'm like, why they do that? You know, and when I saw that Penn State game opening up the fourth quarter, I was saying, James Franklin, kick the field goal. If you kick the field goal, then you could shrink the lead to 10-point lead. Yeah, you'll be down, but at least you'll cut it. But instead, it's 19 to 31. And I know they made it interesting in the end of the game. It was 24-30. But in the end, y'all shot yourselves in the foot. But as far as the key matchup goes, it's not LSU, Alabama, Ohio State, Penn State. It hasn't been. Let's be honest, it's not. So, I expect Ohio State to blow out Penn State by 30 or 40 points now. So as far as college football, as far as the NFL is concerned, this week, I guess we know who's more pathetic. Even though both of them on the same boat, but the Jets at least look like a professional team once again, you know. But next thing you know, just don't show up to Washington and don't go to Washington and don't show up. And as for the Giants, let's put away the yellow jacket for Saquon Barkley. Let's put away the Hall of Fame talk for Saquon Barkley. You cannot have that type of game and call yourself a Hall of Famer. Okay? Let's calm down on Saquon Barkley. First of all, First of all, he had a bad day. But you cannot allow Jamal Adams to get to the quarterback and let him run over you. As for Jamal Adams is an animal, man. He's an animal. But make sure he's a Jet, not a Cowboy. Safe to say. Now, for the Chiefs, to have the type of game Patrick Mahomes have, the Chiefs should be a much better team than they are. But what's going on in Kansas City? Seriously, what's going on in Kansas City? He could throw 5 touchdowns, have a perfect quarterback rating, and still lose the game. How in the world did that happen? And you lose to Tennessee nonetheless? That's unbelievable. That's really unbelievable. And as far as Lamar Jackson, he's your MVP. Case closed. I think outside of Tom Brady, I think it's going to be a close call between Tom Brady. But Lamar Jackson right now is your most valuable player, no question about it. I think Lamar Jackson is, I'm going to say it right now, probably one of the best quarterbacks I have seen, but one of the best black quarterbacks I've seen so far. Because he could do anything. He could run. He's a better runner than Vic. He could throw better than Vic. The more I watch Lamar Jackson, I haven't watched him play in the NFL. The more I think about him, he reminds me a little more of Randall Cunningham. If those of you who don't know Randall Cunningham, he used to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. He was a great quarterback, with the Philadelphia Eagles. But nevertheless, he was an excellent quarterback, and I think Lamar Jackson is right there. For Drew Brees to come back and lose to the Falcons. Hey, and what's going on in Falcon land? The Falcons got to do something. The Falcons got to do something. For a team that, you know what? Let's stop talking about that Super Bowl. That Super Bowl was a long time ago. You just gotta start brand new. I guess you gotta fire a new coach or something like that. And as for the Bears, they've been the most disappointing team so far in the NFL. And finally, as far as the Seahawks 49ers game, this was the game I expected to be a defensive game, a defensive game, a thriller. It was really back and forth. I'm not gonna call it a classic because it's really not a classic game. It was a good game, but I think it's going to be a game. Call me crazy, but these type of games, they could be memorable or forgotten. And in my eyes, I hope I'm wrong, but these games could be forgetful. You know how many classic NFL regular season games and they don't get talked about that much? So, especially on Monday night, how many people in America have seen it? Not many. And this is not going to hurt the 49ers at all. This is really not going to hurt the 49ers. They're still going to win the division, but Jimmy Garoppolo really got to calm down and not tippy-tap. Not tippy-tap to dancing. Even though he had a stellar game, but in the 2-minute drill, I've seen he's not that great. Alright, that's it. You have a good night. I'll see ya. I'll see you when I see ya. Later. Deuces.